Pekudei. The Torah portion of Pekudei continues the building of the tabernacle. Within these instructions, several connections to the Messiah and the Messianic Era can be found. In Exodus 38 verse 21, it says, the tabernacle of the testimony. This verse repeats the word tabernacle twice, which alludes to the connection between the earthly sanctuary and the heavenly sanctuary. God's physical dwelling place on earth is a shadow of his dwelling place in heaven. Jeremiah 17 verse 12 refers to these two sanctuaries being connected. A glorious throne on high from the beginning is the place of our sanctuary. The Midrash Tanchuma explains, this refers to the heavenly Jerusalem that is directly opposite the lower Jerusalem of this world. Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai said, this tells us that the sanctuary below stands opposite mechuvan to the sanctuary above, as it is stated in Exodus 15 verse 17, the place, Machon, O Lord, which you have made for your dwelling, the sanctuary, O Lord, which your hands have established. Do not read Machon, place, but Mechuvan, directly opposite. Likewise, the heavenly Jerusalem is directly opposite the lower Jerusalem of this world. King David said in Psalms 122 verse 3, Jerusalem, that art builded as a city that is compact together. The Targum translates this to mean, Jerusalem, that is built in the heavens, is like a city which is connected together with the one on earth. Midrash Tanchuma, Pekudei 1. Hebrews 8 verse 4 and 9 verse 24 expand on this concept, referring to the temple as a copy and a shadow of the heavenly things, and a mere shadow of the true one. Making of the priestly garments in this Torah portion allude to the Messiah. The blue, purple, scarlet, and gold adornments point towards the Messiah's royalty. The linen symbolizes his purity. The high priest carried the names of the 12 tribes on the ephod. Messiah carried the names of the 12 tribes when he carried the cross. God spoke to Israel through the Urim and the Thummim. And as it says in Hebrews 1 verse 2, but in these last days he has spoken unto us by his Son. On the first day of the first month, the people of Israel assembled the tabernacle. They had been encamped around Mount Sinai for 9 months. One tradition says that the tabernacle was completed in 3 months, and then it was stored away until God ordered them to assemble it. Another tradition says that they completed the work on the first day of Adar, and then Moshe ordered the people of Israel to wait a month before assembling it. What was the reason for this wait? The Midrash says that this is because God wanted to combine the joy of the tabernacle with the joy of Nissan, the month our forefather Yitzchak was born in. He says, behold, I am going to mingle your joyous occasions, place joy in a time of joy. Exodus Rabbah 52 verse 2. What does the birth of Yitzchak have to do with the tabernacle? Yalkut Shimoni says that the Shekhinah rested within the tabernacle solely because of the merit of Yitzchak. The birth of Yitzchak symbolizes redemption. Avraham had to endure many years of disappointment before God's promise of a legacy was redeemed with the birth of Yitzchak. In this same vein, the redemption of Messiah will come only after a seemingly endless waiting period. Yitzchak's name means laughter and alludes to the final redemption, as it says in Psalms 126 verses 1 and 2. When the Lord brought back those that returned to Zion, we were like unto them that dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter. In addition, the redemption from Egypt took place during the month of Nissan. The sages say that in Nissan our forefathers were redeemed from Egypt, and in Nissan we will be redeemed. It is said that Eliyahu Hanavi will come in the month of Nissan, on the first night of Passover, to announce the coming of Messiah. The tabernacle holds a connection to the Garden of Eden. It says in Genesis Rabbah 19 verse 7, when Adam sinned, the Shekhinah departed from this world to the first level of heaven. When Cain sinned, it withdrew and ascended to the second level of heaven. When the generation of Enosh sinned, it ascended to the third. When the generation of the flood sinned, it withdrew to the fourth. When the generation of the Tower of Babel, it departed to the fifth. With the sin of Sodom, it withdrew to the sixth. With the Egyptians in the days of Avraham, it withdrew to the seventh. 7 righteous men arose opposite each of these sinful generations: Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Levi, Kohath, Amram, and Moshe. They brought the Shekinah down again to earth. Avraham drew it down from the 7th to the 6th, Yitzchak from the 6th to the 5th, Yaakov from the 5th to the 4th, Levi from the 4th to the 3rd, Kohath from the 3rd to the 2nd, Amram from the 2nd to the 1st, while Moshe brought him below into this world. Sin drives the presence of God from this world, but righteous people draw his presence back into this world. The list of 7 righteous people, concluding with Moshe, brought the Shekinah back into this world. In this sense, Moshe restored the world back to its original Edenic state. Sadly, this did not last for long, as later generations of Israel sinned and caused the destruction of the temple, driving the Shekinah away from this world once more. The book of Ezekiel, specifically chapters 10 and 11, describes the departure of the Shekinah from the temple, which signifies the coming destruction of Jerusalem as a result of this departure. With this depiction of doom over the nation of Israel, there is also a promise of hope. It says in Ezekiel 43, verses 4 through 7, "And the glory of the Lord came into the house by the way of the gate, whose prospect is toward the east. And the Spirit took me up and brought me into the inner court. And behold, the glory of the Lord filled the house. And I heard one speaking unto me out of the house. And a man stood by me. And he said unto me, Son of man, this is the place of my throne, the place of the soles of my feet, where I will dwell in the midst of the children of Israel forever. And the house of Israel shall no more defile my holy name, neither they nor their kings, by their harlotry, and by the carcasses of their kings in their high places." This vision goes on to describe an Edenic temple, with a river flowing from it, like the river of Eden. Just as Moshe ushered the Shekinah back into the physical world, the Messiah will bring the Shekinah back into this world. God's presence in Zion will be restored. Pekudei contains a peculiar verse that points towards the tabernacle being a reflection of God's dwelling place in heaven. It contains instructions for the priestly garments, which point towards the qualities of the Messiah. It marks the completion of the building of the tabernacle. It also marks the re-entry of God's presence in this world, which points towards the coming re-entry of God's presence with Messiah.